Now write this down. This is the most important point of this message. If I succeed without sacrifice, then someone went before me and made that sacrifice. If I succeed without sacrifice, then someone went before me and made that sacrifice. Let me flip the coin. If I sacrifice and don't see the success I want, then someone who follows me will reap that success. Do you see how God's got us covered from A to Z? Let me say it again. If I succeed without sacrifice, then someone went before me and made that sacrifice. Or if I sacrifice and I don't see the success I need or want, then someone who follows me will reap that sacrifice. You see, there's some things you're going to do in life that's not for you, but for the next generation. And you have to understand that. You see, a lot of people say, well, the Lord didn't bring, no. You see, he used you as a builder for the next generation, and they will reap from that. Do you understand that? Some water, some getting great. And I've learned those things. See, for years I thought that everything I would sow that I would automatically reap. And I do believe 30, 60, 100-fold. I reap 100-fold all the time. Now, I don't mean that arrogantly, but I do. But there's some things I realized that what I am doing, they will benefit in the next generation. It's like a church, for example. Most men and women in this building today will not outlive this building, right? I mean, think about it. Most people are not going to outlive this building you built. Buildings last a long time unless they're knocked down by something. But you paid for it, or paying for it. You're building it for the next generation. And the next generation, the generation after that may come in. I mean, how old is that chapel with all that stained glass? 1930. So we're looking at what, 74 years, huh? Something like 76. Yeah, something like that. Okay, you see, but that's still going to be, that'll still be there another 70 years from now. And if Jesus tarries, we'll probably all be gone by the way of the grave. I'm talking about the people my age and stuff. I'd be 70, I'd be 150, whatever. But point is this, but whoever did that is benefiting you now. See, God has got us covered all the way. See, that's why God says, teach your children. Every time God looks at you, you ever notice God's never surprised? You know why? He looks 240 years into the future every time he looks at you. He looks at 3 generations. The average person in America lives 80 years old. Some live longer, some live less, but the average is 80. So he looks he sees your children and your children's children. That's why he's never shocked. 240 years into the future. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Jesus, and Jesse. I put myself in there. I'm the seed of Abraham, heirs according to the promise. How many times you hear this? God saying, I remember my servant Abraham. I remember my servant David, and I will not allow this to come upon his children or his seed. Isn't that amazing? See, because what happens, we're building for other generations. Think about that. So there's some things you may not receive the way you thought in this life, but your children will, and your children's children, and a good man makes an inheritance for his children's children. What are you saying? You must look beyond what you can see, even if your senses give you no assurance. You see? Let me say it again. You must look beyond what you can see, even if your senses give you no assurance. You see the citation 10. How many of you get my magazine? Anybody here gets my magazine? You know what I'm talking about. All right, a bunch of y'all get that. Okay, and watch it. What happens is, that's going to come to me. I know that. But you know what? If Jesus tarries, it's going to outlast me. So it'll go to the next person who takes this ministry. Do you understand that? So I'm believing, even though my senses give me no assurance, that has nothing to do. I'm not walking by sight, I'm walking by faith. I'm not walking in the realm of my senses or sense knowledge, I'm walking in revelation knowledge. If you look at a church life this size and what this cost, it took revelation to believe for this. Not sense knowledge will tell you, you'll never do this and you might as well quit. You can't handle that kind of stuff. But revelation says, I'm going to build a place called Word of Faith. Oh, but you can't do that. It's always somebody says you can't say. So that tells you that you can when you got the devil saying you can't. So let me say it again. You must look beyond what you can see, even if your senses give you no assurance. Now watch this. To dream is not the phantoms of our brain, but the outlines of our destiny. I want everybody to see this. I'm going to show you faith like you've never seen it before. The true definition of faith in its purest form. I'm going to use this as an example. How many of you had children and you gave him a little car, a little boy, a little car about this size. All of a sudden, the kid takes the car. You give it to him, and he goes, and if you're in your car, he goes, you see him riding that car, and you go, and if you're kind of close to him, how many have done that? You've seen that? Hold your hand up. All right, how many of you have given a little girl at 8 months old or 9 months old or 10, 11 months old, a little baby doll, and they just hold on that baby doll? It gets dirty, stinky, but boy, they want that baby. You buy another one, they want that old, right? Now, what is this? That's faith in its purest form, but you call it imagination. Look at that kid, he got an imagination. No, he's in that car. You know why I know it's not imagination? How come when he's 15 years old, he drives your car out your driveway? All of a sudden this becomes living reality. See, that's faith in its purest form. That's not imagination. To the adult, that boy got a vivid imagination, that girl got a... No, that's faith in its purest form. That kid sees himself in that car, and before you know it, he's taking it out of your driveway. And that's why women want them babies, all that biological clock ticking all the time, because they're giving them a baby at 10 months old, 11 months old. All of a sudden, we want a baby, gotta have a baby. And no matter what the man said, no, we don't want a baby right now. Yes, we do. Okay. You see, what happened was you thought that was vivid imagination. No, that's faith in its purest form. I call that faithing. The other day, Kathy came in my office. She says, oh, my God, he's doing it again. See, I've been doing that for years. It's called faithing. See, when she first saw me, she said, what you doing, Jeff? I said, jets. What do you mean? Jets. She said, that's just what you imagine. I said, no. I said, Kathy, that's faith in its purest form. One day we'll have one. This is not a white Stevie Wonder. Get myself dizzy here. Glory to God. You understand? It's faithing. It's not imagination. Because your child will drive your car out your driveway. But it started with that little car you gave him to play with. That what you considered a toy to fill his imagination, but what you did was fill his heart with a dream that produced a physical manifestation. So the other day, Kathy caught me in my study. She said, what's your faith in now? I said, satellites. Satellite. I want my own satellite. Why do I have to buy at a time? I don't know if I had my own satellite. I said, Kathy, nobody owns space. Nobody owns it. She said, Jesse, them satellites cost $500 million. Yeah. So I called NASA. I said, what it takes to bring up a satellite? 100 million. I said, I called Russia. They'll do it for 20 million. I called. They need money. You can laugh all you want, but one day there'll be a JDM satellite, and then it'll ring them, and no one can stop the gospel. Then ABC, CBS, NBC will come to me. See, I'm faithful. I'm building a mental map on the road to divine destiny. Do you see that? Well, the military has it, yes. Even the Weather Channel has it. Why can't Word of Faith have it? Why not? Somebody got to believe it. But you got to start like this. And they're going to call you full of imagination and a stupid fool until your satellite. I told her the Creflo Dollar today. I said, why don't you get your satellite, Creflo? He said, what? I said, I can hear yours. It's going across the sky. No one owns space. Don't tell me we can't believe that. That's what Henry Ford did. Tired of riding his stinking horse. Always going to the bathroom at the wrong time. Think I'm gonna build a car. I'm going to put horsepower in it. You don't believe that, go out there. Wherever it's at. You don't know where it's at. You see those buildings out there. You see, somebody was in their house doing this. You mean sinners can do it? Yeah, Genesis 11. Genesis 11, the Tower of Babel. The Bible said all they imagined. So that's all, even in their imagination. God said that's pure faith. Let's go down there and confuse that language. Because they will do, there's nothing they can't do. That's how powerful faith. You know, that's how God created the universe. Believe I'm going to create earth. I'm going to put a boy named Jesse on it. He's going to have white hair and white teeth. But I'm going to bless it so much that when he comes to the word of faith, they give him a short pulpit. So he looked tall. What can you see? But if you're in the past, if your memories are bigger than your dreams, you're in trouble. There must be a vision of something bigger than today. See, someone's already sacrificed for me to reap that satellite. Think about that 24/7 and can never cut you off. Now, you know what we're doing in our ministry? We're doing something that I don't know if any other ministry is doing it. It's very expensive. We're running digital and analog at the same time. Now, let me explain that for a second. The world's going digital. Ain't no other way. It's happening. But see, somebody in America can afford it. But there's some of these countries overseas that we're airing cannot go digital. They're going to stay with analog because they can't afford it. So a lot of people are going to lose the broadcast. Because it's already been passed in the law by Congress, but they keep backing it up so people, because it costs a lot of money. The average television station could cost them at least $2 million. It's going to cost us $2 million to switch over. And we're in the process of that right now. So we're running digital and analog. Now, I'm saying stuff some of y'all don't understand at all. I just saw that in my spirit. Let me make it simpler. Let me show you the difference between, so you'll understand what I'm talking about. How many of you, see how old you are, how many of you, it was your job to go outside and turn the antenna? Hold your hand up. And your daddy say, stop, that's it, boy. All right, don't turn it no more. Hold your hand up if that ever happened to you. Okay, some of y'all are not quite that old. Let's see, let's try this. How many of you, it was your job to put the aluminum foil on top of them ears on top of that television? Hold your hand up. Ah, now you know what I'm talking about. You're pulling in that analog signal. We see some of the places in India that we're preaching in their languages, they can't afford that. So we're not stopping the broadcast. We're running analog and we're running digital. It costs a lot of money. Yeah. Well, how are you doing that? Well, let me tell you something. God is not looking for a man with money to finance it. God's got money. He ain't looking for somebody with money. He's looking for somebody with obedience. That's all. Just obedience. He's not looking for the richest guy in town to handle this. Same thing with the satellite. How are you going to get $500 million for a satellite? That's not my job. That's above my pay grade. You understand what I'm saying? My job is to believe for that. Do you see my point? Whoo, Lord Jesus. Yeah. See, God ain't looking for a person with money. He's got money. He's looking for a person with obedience. Someone who is tempted to tithe. Well, I lost a few of you right there. You went. Because, see, that's a spiritual thing. And don't you want to be spiritual? Spirituals always connect physical things together. You see, when you pray in the spirit, you get a physical healing. Right? Right? So the spirit can embrace the intellect, but the intellect cannot embrace the spirit. And that's the problem with our theology of today, or our theological schools. They're trying to embrace spiritual things with intellect. It don't work. But the spirit can embrace the intellect, but the intellect cannot embrace the spirit. So you walk in the spirit. That's why you walk in the realm of unseen. So when you tell people things like that, they think you're crazy. Now you see what I just said about the satellites? I've been faithing. Let me help you. Devil don't believe it. I said, stupid kid. Watch. I'm tired of the Rupert Murdochs and all these people owning all this. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not against them. But there's space out there, and there's a lot of it. No one owns it. And no one can collect on it. Because there's no one up that, nobody's that high. There's only 2 guys I know up there right now, I think. Of this whole planet, I think there's two or three guys up at that space station. That's it for the whole planet. And they ain't got time to collect. They can't even go outside. Put that satellite, beam it. Push it, push a button, go. Think about it. You that are watching by the internet, think about it. That was unheard of. That was totally unheard of, you that are watching that. All over the world. Totally unheard of, but here I am. See how tall I look? Thank you, Bishop. I appreciate that. Glory to God. Yeah. See, it's all was once dreams. Now, what is your dream? What are you going to do? What are you willing to do? I want you to think about that for a minute. Because there's nothing you can't do. And let nothing hold you back. No nationality, color, creed, money, status in the community, whatever, all that junk. What do you want to do? Have you been faithing? Or have you let people think that's just a vivid imagination? That's faith in its purest form. Just remember, And one day the kid takes the car. And one day that beautiful daughter of yours brings back a baby. And they call grandchildren. You know why they call grandchildren? Got to spend $1,000 on them. Nothing short of $1,000. A lot more than that. I don't doubt that Bishop Butler's grandbaby, when she sees him, she goes, big money coming. Big money coming. Oh, look at me and mama. Big money coming. And she just goes, and Bishop goes, oh, glory to God. It's the way it's supposed to be. Look at the kids. Y'all just kids. But these are grandkids. Oh, and it's just beginning. Wait till she get about this big. What you want, baby? A spaceship? Sure, Papa go get you a spaceship. Whatever you want. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I want to spoil that child. Excuse me. You don't spoil children with love. You spoil children by not disciplining them. That's how you spoil a child. You don't discipline. You can give a child anything you want as long as you discipline and show them the value of what's happening. I shouldn't say this, but the Spirit of God said I could. I only have one daughter. I gave Jody, and Jody's going to be 33 years old next month. I have never, ever told her no. Now, her mama has many times. She said, you make me the heavy. I say, she ain't heavy. No, because everything she asked me made sense. She said, Dad, I have never told her no. Never. And my mother used to get so angry. She said, you spoiling her. I'd bless her. I said, Jody. She said, Kathy said, Jody shouldn't have that. Jody picked this up. She's 6 years old. Mama, let Daddy listen to the Lord. Let Daddy listen to the Lord. So usually around her birthday, I said, Jody, what do you want for your birthday? You're going to be 30. She said, let's let the Lord lead you, Daddy. Because I know if the Lord lead you, we're going to get it today. I want you to know, Lord. Oh, Lord, we started hooping, boy, I'll tell you what. Now, I probably shouldn't tell you this. Somebody's going to criticize me. But I'm not a broke man. I live by my giving. And so constantly, I have to be blessed. There's no other choice in the matter. I just have to. There's no way I can go broke. Got too much seed in the ground. It ain't my fault. Don't get mad at me. It ain't my fault. I delight in tithing. I delight in giving. It's not a temptation to me. It's a manifestation. I just do it. So when Jody made 10 years old, I said, Jody, she was coming up. She said, Dad, have you figured out what you're going to give me for my birthday? I said, I was kind of waiting for you to give me some hints. What you want, Jody? She said, money. I said, you know your mama wants you to have presents. Don't listen to mama. Just give me some money. So maybe I went a little overboard. I don't know. Kathy got her a bunch of little gifts and stuff like that. She's just looking at me. And when I reached this, she went, ooh. I said, now, Jody, this is from me to you. Kathy looked, she said, how much is that? Jody said, look at me, Daddy. I went, it was $5,000. Is that crazy? Jody went, ah! That's crazy. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. I don't care if it's crazy. If my daddy would have done that for me, I'd have that satellite by now. My daddy done that for me. Jody couldn't believe it. I'm rich. That's a lot of money to give to a kid, right? Kathy said, Jody. She said, you can keep that money, but we're going to show you how to spend it. You want to buy clothes, you're going to buy certain times. So it took her quite a while to go through that, you know. Jody bought her own clothes. Kathy made it just, she said, you can't give that. I said, she said, Daddy, I can handle it. I really can handle it, Dad. I said, well, Mama controls the house here. So she's going to tell you how to do that. Put this in your savings. Pay your tithe. She said, how much is tithe? I said, it's $500. I said, girl, think of your harvest. She said, I rebuke that devil in the name of $500. I said, what about the offering? She said, how much you think? I said, well, y'all at least double your tithe. I mean, at least give as much as a tithe. That's $1,000, Daddy? I said, yeah. That's right, I still got 4, huh? Yeah. I said, and you made that a seed. I said, we believe in 100-fold. She goes, how much that is, Daddy? I said, 100,000. She said, here, Daddy. Here, Daddy. She started feeling that. Well, it took her quite a while to go through all that. I know that was too much money for a child. Or was it? See, that's what God would do for you. I've had God, that's what God did for me. God will bless you beyond your wildest dreams. Can I tell you what happened to me the other day? Let me hurry. It's 12:14. I apologize for holding you so long. I was in Chicago, going to preach in Chicago. And as I was going, these people, a couple picked us up at the airport. Took about 40 minutes to drive to the airport. Okay? To the church from the airport. So Kathy came with me. So we're sitting in the car. We're just talking. I don't know these people who has picked us up, Hello, just cordial, being nice. We stopped at this red light, and this blue, cobalt blue, kind of like the color of your blouse there, maybe. Is that cobalt? I don't know what the color that is, but kind of like that color. This blue Corvette pulls up on the side of our car. It was a hardtop blue Corvette. I said, good Lord, Kathy, look at that car. Isn't that a beautiful car? I said, that's a gorgeous car. I never thought of a Corvette. I said, that's a beautiful car. I said, I tell you what, if I got a Corvette, I'd like to get one just like that color, but I would want it convertible instead of hardtop. And she said, you want a vet? I can buy you a vet. I said, no, I don't want to. I said, I've always liked them, but I never thought about going out and buy one. I've always liked them. There's a lot of things I like that I don't necessarily go out and get. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. But I said, that's a beautiful car. I said, ooh, Lord. I said, Kathy, I said, I want to go buy one. We can ride around. Look like two old people. One with a Q-tip and my hair. Just give everybody the Queen's wave rather than. And we just all laughed in the back of the car. Okay? All right. We drive up to the church. Now, it's just 40 minutes later, actually 42 minutes later. As I go to walk in, one of the ushers said, there's a gentleman need to see you. I said, who is that? You know, because I don't know, you know. And I said, oh, yes, I know this gentleman. I said, hello, brother, how you doing? He said, Brother Jesse, I just have to do something. I said, what's that? He said, I want to show you something. And he turns around, and there's a 2004 commemorative edition, cobalt blue Corvette convertible. Why? He said, I bought this 2 days ago. Me and my wife, we love this car. So I thought I'm going to pray a blessing over it. He said, but the Lord told me it's not my car, it's yours. I said, what? I said, what? He said, I just got 150 miles on it. He said, this is yours, and gave me the Corvette. I looked at that thing. 42 minutes later, I got one exactly that if I would have bought, would have. And I said, Lord, he said, I heard you talk about it. Now that was more, that's kind of like that $5,000 gift. It was beyond, I went, oh, gee. And you want to drive it home? I said, no, I'll rent a truck and have it bring it home. And my tape man said, we'll drive it. No, you ain't driving it. I said, put it on delivery trailer. And they delivered it to New Orleans. It's got 150 miles. I said, you sure you want? He said, yes, I can't help. He said, the Lord told me I was driving it. He said, this is not your car. This is Jesse Duplantis' car. And I looked at Kathy. I said, remember when I gave that money to Jody and you was, I said, I don't see you now. I said, look what the Lord has done. I've never owned a Corvette in my life. I could have bought one, it's not the issue. But the Lord blessed me. So, man, I put the top down. I'm driving around New Orleans, got my lean back, you know, I'm walking. Hey! Glory to God. Now, you know, don't let your liberties, don't use your liberty as an occasion to the flesh. Which means if you're on the interstate and somebody pull up on the side of you and you say, you want some of me? And they go, whoa. Oh. Boy, I mean, I smoked that guy. But guess who was down the road? When I saw him, I'm like, all he saw was a blue flag. I said, Jesus. He said, I'm going to help you. Brother Jesse, how you doing? I said, you like my Corvette? He said, I could barely see it when you went by me. I said, go ahead, give it to me. I deserve it. No. I said, the Lord gave me this. He said, you got to be kidding me. He said, if you don't slow down, you're going to pay for it in tickets. I said, yeah. I said, I never had nothing like this in my life. But you see, what happened was, on the way to the church, I built a mental map. Not even realizing it. My God, I know I'm going long. I apologize. But do you understand what I'm saying? What are you going to do? I challenge you. Word of faith, you certainly have the ability to do whatever you desire. What dream, what faith will you faith today that will manifest? Stand to your feet. Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse Duplantis, and I'm so happy you're watching this video today. If you're enjoying our channel, please subscribe. You can hit the bell to get notifications as each new video is posted so you don't miss a single one. Then you share this video to your friends, your family, so they can be blessed by it. And I mean necessarily, they'll be funny, they'll be hilarious, and I promise you, if you watch it, by the end of it, you're going to feel good, because I believe in bringing joy into people's lives. I mean that sincerely. And I tell people, say, does anything ever wipe that smile off your face? No. And thank God I got good teeth. Praise the Lord. So watch it and subscribe today. Thank you, and keep watching. You'll be blessed.
This media is copyrighted by Jesse Duplantis Ministries for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this media or of any pictures or accounts without Jesse Duplantis Ministries' consent is strictly prohibited.